Here we have the Homalomena purple sword. Super cool foliage. It kind of looks like a philodendron crossed with an aglaonema crossed with a scindapsus. The leaves are very philodendron looking, but they almost have like a dusty texture to them. But let's get into the care instructions for this really cool plant. First things first, they're going to need very bright light, okay? So this is the kind of plant where you want to put it right in front of a window with a very nice wide view of the sky. If you have a really hot window, like if you know your south window or your west window is super hot, I would back it off the glass a little bit, maybe a foot or two, to avoid that leaf burn. You still want to maintain the plant seeing a nice wide view of the sky. It needs to be looking out at unobstructed sky. But if you know you have a really hot window, just back it up a little bit and then you won't get any leaf burn, which is really important, right? As far as watering goes, these are quite water needy, okay? Every time that topsoil dries out, give it a really nice good soak. And this is going to be year round, okay? They are a little bit forgiving in that. I mean, if you let them dry out a little bit more, say down to like 25% between watering, they're not going to kick up much of a fuss, but you will notice growth slowing down quite a bit. So try to keep on top of the watering with these guys. We want to repot this plant about every 2 years, or when the roots are coming out of the bottom drainage holes here. I like to use a straight houseplant soil with this one because they like to retain quite a bit of moisture. Houseplant soil, just the regular standard houseplant soil you can buy at just about any gardening store, is going to retain moisture but have enough drainage also to get enough air down to those roots to do really, really well. And if I didn't mention, you should always have drainage when you're repotting these plants. And just go up 1 to 2 pot sizes. So for example, this is in a 6-inch pot. If I were to repot this, I would go up to a 7-inch pot, maybe an 8-inch pot at most. And I would only do that repotting during the spring and summer months while it's actively growing. Now, in the wintertime, it's going to go dormant. You're going to see very little new growth. You might not see any new growth at all. I still want to maintain the watering regimen every time that topsoil dries out. Just expect a little bit less growth. For fertilizing, again, that's going to be something we do during the spring and summer months when the plant is actively growing. If we fertilize when the plant is not actively growing, we can actually burn the sides of the leaves right here, the tips especially, and the edges. So if you're not seeing any new growth, fall, winter months, don't fertilize. But spring and summer months, yes, a little bit of fertilizer is going to do really, really well for these guys. Just use a general purpose, liquid soluble, or granule fertilizer for these guys. They're not huge heavy feeders, but you're going to maximize the growth period by using a little bit of fertilizer during those growing months. That's going to do it for the care instructions for the Homalomena purple sword. If you grow this plant, let me know how you are doing it, and if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below.